Welcome to the Youth Pastors Are Pastors Too podcast, recorded in Central Texas, broadcasting to the world. Join your hosts and their weekly guests for insight, advice, guidance, and ideas to help your ministry flourish and help you take care of yourself. Now, with a combined 35 years of ministry experience, your hosts, Jacob Taylor and Jeremy Helms.
Boom, we are back with episode 6 of season 2, and it's going to be a full episode.
Yes, 6. We love it. We are so glad to be back. And, for those of you who've been praying for Jacob, he is not ready to throw in the World Series yet, but he is at least a little bit more mobile than he was last time.
Not a whole lot, but I am at the point where I take my sling off when I'm sitting down. So yesterday marked the day that I could actually stop wearing it around the house. But I have
also marked the day where you could do laundry. Is that what I heard?
No.
No.
There's no heavy, so something happened with my dog last night while we were at church, and I had to clean out its kennel. And I had to do it. I couldn't. It was all one-handed. It was.
Oh man.
I'm not quite ready to go back to regular things. I've learned that if I stand up for long periods of time, I need to put my sling on. So
yeah.
So anything
I can imagine
away from my desk. Like after we record this, I'm gonna go work on some. I got an XLR a cable tester. I'm trying to locate some mics that we're not picking up, and that's what I'm gonna go do. But I gotta put my sling back on for it. But
yeah.
But we're on the up and up on that. Hopefully,
There we go. Well, you can't beat that, man. It feels like it's been kind of a busy few weeks, but all is well. We're rolling into summer here around our area.
And it definitely has been a couple. Like Easter came up, and then a surgery, and then we did the soundboard switch out, which consumed a whole week of time and physical therapy. And luckily, I don't have that this week. I had it on Tuesday instead of Thursday, so we got time to record a full episode today.
There we go. So far, like this morning has just been nonstop for me, but I've got my coffee in hand, and we've got a wonderful outline. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you. We always got to give our special shout out to Garrett, right?
Oh yeah, and he's still coming through with this swap that we had. We had an issue with our in-ears and live stream being connected to the same thing. So when we were mixing live stream, it was blowing out their ears. If we were trying to mix their ears, you couldn't hear the live stream. So I called him Saturday night, and I was like, "Hey man, this is what's happening." And man, between him going between campuses for his church, he showed up and he helped us get it set, ready to go.
That guy, so far, he is the real hero.
He's living up to his sponsorship of the episode, even though he's not paying us, but his spot.
He is totally. And, if you ever wanted to sponsor Youth Pastors or Pastor 2, just go ahead and email us at youthpastorsorpastors2@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to entertain a sponsorship.
And if you want to be a guest, go ahead and just reach out to us, and we'll make it happen. We talked about guests coming back, and we would like that.
Yeah. I think it's around the corner. It's funny we talked about that earlier, but we advertise that we have guests, and we're planning to have guests. It's just point that we're scheduling it.
Yeah, and
yeah,
when we both went full time, we went full time on the same day. I was like, man, it's gonna be so much easier to record episodes that we're gonna start back up, and it's been like the complete opposite. Like there's like one day out of the whole week that our schedules line up till we can do it, and it's not always the same day.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Like we were like, oh, we can record on Tuesdays or Mondays, and we did Mondays for a while, but now it's like, oh, I'm I'm so busy I don't even talk to you on Mondays or sometimes. You don't talk to me. And,
Or you go and you get caught in like 4-hour traffic,
oh,
just stuff.
that I'm still here. Here's a conspiracy theory. I'm not a big guy. Morgan, this is for you. Uh, so yesterday, a staff meeting at 9:30. It's and so I leave my house. I still live about 45 minutes from the church, up until June and July, where we plan on moving in this direction. But so I leave my house at 8. That should give me enough time to beat traffic and rush hour traffic in Austin. And if you've never been to Austin during traffic, like the rush hour time, it's the worst in the country. It's like the worst. And typically there's a window that if you leave at a certain time, I can make it without hitting any traffic. But yesterday I left at 8 and I get 20 minutes down the road and traffic just stops.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, she tells me this every time I leave somewhere. I always check Google Maps to see if where traffic is, and I just go one way. I mean, there's 2 ways out of Bastrop to get here, and if you don't hit 21 before you leave town, then you go the other way. Then there's no point in turning back and going back. Well, that's right. That's what I thought yesterday. I was like, well, I'm already, like, committed to this traffic. I'm gonna be late. And then
I called you about 8:45 to check on you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, take this one road. And you were like, oh, just pass that road. I don't know. Everybody's going that way. And so
I was like, it'll clear up. Once I thought I would get to the toll road, it would clear up. And needless to say, they started turning us around at the toll road, and we had to go another way.
So we have a website in the state, like drivetexas.org, and you can find out anything like ICE or wrecks or construction in the entire state. They have this interactive map. I use it all the time. And so I'm on the phone with him and I pull it up. There is literally nothing on Highway 71 between 21 and 130, which is the toll road, right? Nothing.
And this is at 11:30. Like, I left my house at 8. You called me at 8:45. We talked a little bit, and then you had to go. And then I texted you. I said, "Hey, guess where I'm at?" And you're like, "Where?"
Get a burger, maybe.
Yeah, that's what you assume around lunchtime. No, I was about a mile and a half from where you called me at 8:45.
So crazy.
And then while I'm sitting in traffic, I'm scrolling. I don't encourage using your phone in traffic or whatever, but I wanted to know what was going on. So I'm looking through all the news places in Austin's Facebook page. I'm looking on their website, nothing. And so here's my conspiracy theory about it. The government was doing something on the highway and they didn't want anybody to know about it. So they cut traffic off and they were directing us through a back road. And because still to this day, like, it's the next day and still nothing on the news. And you would think I don't tweet a lot. I don't tweet out a lot of things, but I tweeted this yesterday because I was so frustrated on sitting on the road. You would think a major highway going into a major city is shut down westbound, that they would have some kind of like, an 18-wheeler flipped over or a construction accident or something. No, nothing. It's like it didn't even exist. Like, it wasn't happening. And so I left my house at 8 o'clock. I got to my office at 12:30.
Golly.
I typically on a regular day, if I leave at 8 o'clock, I can get here less than 45 minutes.
Well, to add to your conspiracy, and I can't verify this, but I was almost certain growing up that there were these anti-aircraft missile silos just, east and west of the airport. There were these little fences out there in those cornfields off of Highway 71 before the toll road, before the whole major highway thing that went through there. There were these little bitty fences that had these little, just, razor wire around it and everything, but just enough where, if an anti-aircraft missile had to be fired from it, I was convinced those were there, and they may still be there. Maybe they were, checking on the missiles or something. I don't know. That may be out and way in left field, and I may be completely wrong, but Austin Bergstrom was an Air Force base, so you got to kind of think maybe they had silos out there.
They're probably changing out what's in the silos. They're outdated, so they needed to change the ammunition inside. They didn't want anybody to see. But there's those silos in the like the Westlake Hills, and like in the high tops, like where what's that little walk like peak over Lake Travis, like off of 360?
Oh, yeah. I mean, right there at 360 and
where the radio towers are.
Yes. Mount Bonnell, right?
Yeah. I've heard that there's some stuff out there.
See, and this could be folklore, but it's got to be some truth in it, right?
Yeah.
So what they were doing yesterday is they were swapping out the missiles over there at the silo just east of the airport.
And that's the story I'm going to stand by, because I was 4.5 hours late for work.
And there was nothing on the website.
It was all covered up, and just conspiracy. I mean, Morgan, I know
he's eating us up right now.
Oh yeah. So Morgan, look that up. Contact your buddies on
back channels.
Yeah, your channels that you have, and let me know. I just want to know, like, why was traffic shut down on 71, and what was
on May 3rd, 2023?
Yeah, on a Wednesday.
Well, listen. So we already did our shout out to Garrett. We've already discussed what's happening personally, but we need to probably jump here to the topic, because we've kept the people waiting too long here. We are on the cuff of summer 2023, and so we are either scrambling right now, or either you're taking a deep breath, or you're finalizing your calendar, or you have completely been ready for summer for 6 months. Where are you?
We are proud of you if you're already ready for summer. Because
you go ahead and give him the
oh, wrong one.
That's for you pastors who are already ready for summer.
I'm not saying that I'm scrambling to finish the summer. I'm finalizing it and making graphics.
Yeah.
I'm not way behind, and it's just the 1st of May, and so
I mean, schools let us out here in less than 30 days, give or take, right?
Graduation's on May 31st.
Yeah.
It is here. I don't know.
Some schools run to that kind of for June 1st or whatever. Some kind of do that schedule or whatever, but it's here. We like it or not, it's here.
I wasn't ready. It's like Easter comes, and then it's like boom, like oh, I can calm down, take a breath from Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, can't do that. That's why wasn't Easter earlier in the year last year? It felt like it was earlier.
I hate to say this, but I forget that kind of stuff. And so about January, I Google Easter of the year and figure out when it is, and then go from there. But there's February is always, I guess, Fat Tuesday is always the second Tuesday of every February or something.
I don't know.
Isn't it something like that? I mean, I don't celebrate it.
I don't go out and sin all day to be redeemed the next day type thing. So
okay. Neither do I. But anyways, summer planning can be daunting for some. Some summer planning can be really easy for others. But really, it's just looking at the calendar and trying not to conflict with too many either major dates that Memorial Day. You're probably not going to do an event on Memorial Day, right? And July 4th, you're not going to do something, and first day of school, you're not going to do something, and avoid those major days so that you can have some successful summer events. And I think philosophy wise, obviously we want to grow in the Lord in the summer, but we also want to hang out with the students too.
Yeah. and so last summer it was different because it was my first summer at this place, and basically we had there was not, I mean, there was a tiny group here, but it wasn't like a whole lot. And so I actually took the summer to build a foundation, and we did a bunch of stuff like throughout the whole summer. And we're going to do the same thing, but when I started planning for this summer, I basically took what I did last summer that was like successful. We do uh, one big thing that we did that really uh, I think had an impact on the summer was the last day of VBS, the afternoon. The students had a pool party, just the students, like the 6th through 12th graders. And we actually had like 3 students that had volunteered at VBS, because I pulled all the students aside on like Tuesday or Wednesday and said, hey, it had to be Wednesday. Hey, we're going to have this pool party on Friday. Since you're a student, you're invited. Just if you want to go, I need you to sign a release form, because if you drown, I don't want to be responsible. Two, just come in. Where there's no agenda to it. Just come hang out. And we ended up having 3 students, and 2 of them actually went to camp with us, and one of them accepted Christ at VBS. So it was like I looked back and was like, what worked? What worked last summer?
Yeah, good question.
And that pool party is a big thing. So this year I was like, we have to do it. The week of VBS is this year is the week after school's out.
And
so I was like, that's a little early. But I think it's perfect timing for the target that we're going for. First official week of summer, and like, oh, let's do this. So that's what we're going to do that again. We met, and Kevin was real behind it, because they had like this VBS after party that they're doing, and I was like, man, I wasn't planning on, like, one, I didn't know it was happening, and then 2, I was like, this is so good that we need to do it again. He was like, yeah, you have to do it again. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then we did this one thing called Mess Fest. It was actually the first thing I did last summer. And basically it was just a giant food fight. And it really, really kicked off the summer just right. And I think that's what helped bring students in to volunteer at VBS. They're like, oh, they're doing fun stuff. If you do Mess Fest, here's one suggestion I have. Coffee grinds, whatever, not recommended. If you don't know this, if you dump coffee on like a can of coffee on anybody, one, it dries your beard out. So if you have a beard, don't do it. It took about 3 months to get my beard back to life.
Oh, moly.
Yeah, I had a rough summer with my beard last year. 2, it itches. It's like crazy itchy to everybody. I thought, well, maybe I'm allergic to it. No, it was like getting sand all over you. And it just, instead of like rubbing you weird, it just itched. And so,
right.
Note to self, to anybody that wants to do that, coffee, leave it alone. I learned the hard way and won't be purchased. I went to Sam's and bought like $200 worth of like ketchup and mustard, and I did this dirty thing. And I feel bad to this day. I showed you pictures of this. I got pie crust, filled the pie crust with mustard or ketchup or sardines or whatever,
not pie stuff,
and then covered it with whipped cream and said, we're going to start the day out with a pie eating contest. And all these kids just stuffed their face into this pie thinking they're about to have like a chocolate pie or whatever. And they all just started like gagging, and because if you're not anticipating something like that, you're going to be like, and it was it was worth the laugh, because I enjoyed it. I think Amanda enjoyed it. Students did not enjoy it.
Yeah, probably not. We do something like that. We're going to do that in September, Messy Games. So it's I did not intend to get messy when we did it last year.
Oh, you always have, as the student pastor, you have to be ready.
Well, yeah, in hindsight,
But you've been out of the game for a while, so you forgot.
Let's just say I lost a white t-shirt that day.
You're the only person I know that wears a white T-shirt for everything.
Well, I mean, it's like disposable though.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to wear a white T-shirt in the pool.
Oh my goodness, I don't wear it in the pool, do I?
You did at camp.
Oh, maybe I did.
You did, and I was like, I'm uncomfortable. And then you walk back. Brendan and I were like, why is he wearing a white T-shirt in the pool? And then we walked back, and you were just wearing a wet white T-shirt all the way to the dorm room. Brendan was like, this is uncomfortable.
Oh, stop it! You better stop it. Oh my goodness. Well, as you got me all thrown off here, you
See,
know, and
you're
you got
flustered because of the white T-shirt. We all were.
Look at that, golly! So I guess I'll pack a gray shirt for the pool next year. How about
What
that?
about a black one? You know, Brendan, he had it on lock, like black long sleeve Columbia fishing shirt with the hood.
Yeah. He had a hood too. But you know what? Though, do you remember when we went to Schlitterbahn with Keith Kilpatrick and his group, and we wore red shirts, and they were straight out of the box red shirts, and the red dye literally got on our skin and stained it after the Schlitterbahn trip.
So you looked sunburned, but really wasn't.
It was just a t-shirt dye. Oh my gosh. And it was very cumbersome, you know.
And I'm gonna be real, we're not the same shape as we were 8-9 years ago. Well, you may be.
Are you sure? I think I am.
Since I am not. I'm more round than I was ago. I put on some weight since I've got into the office full time.
Yeah. Less McDonald's, more soups.
Nope, hate soup. Another thing, I'm trying to think of other. We did Color Wars one night last summer.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like, just kind of before you go into that real fast, like for me, we're not going to forsake the Wednesday night. We're going to keep doing Wednesday night, and so 6:38. Is it going to be look like what it looks like during the fall and spring? No, it's going to be completely different for us. We're gonna do different things, and like you said there, you did the Color War. But you know, the ideas, I mean, we probably a million ideas out there what we could do, right? But it goes back to all building the relationships, right? Spending time and making memories and loving on them, because as you love these students and they know that they're loved, right? They're going to see Christ in that. And I think, to me, that's my goal when we do all those kind of things. You know, as fun as it is, right? So, you know, whatever it's Bob Ross night, or you're playing sardines, or Jacob's got a whole Nerf war arsenal. He's got a Nerf gun arsenal, is what I understand. I mean, I've seen some of it, but goodness gracious, I think he's put it all over the wall now or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like walking into a gun closet or whatever. And, you know, what paintball, just whatever it is, Color Wars, spend time with your students.
Yeah. And when you go back to, if you say you weren't planning on participating in the messy things, you know, when they see someone, a student see like you participating in the same thing and not being like, okay, go do this, but leave me alone, because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be picking out coffee grains out of my beard for 3 months. Like, it means a whole lot, and that opens them up to like being comfortable to have those relationships that
Yes,
I feel like we talk about it a whole lot, but relationships are important. And when you're in the trenches of a food fight, then you know they will. And I mean, that was, like I said, that's the first thing I did last summer, and
yeah,
I think it brought down the barriers of where our group was, because you know they just had they went a year and a half without anything.
mm-hmm.
You know, they were all the ones that we had. They were probably still like kind of cautious about me, and we were able to, you know, bring those barriers down and have, you know, a great summer. And yeah,
I like that. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I mean, we did like a junior high hangout, but like the first event that we did with everyone was Messy Games. And so we jumped right in the middle of that. So it's very similar to what you're saying. Is your first summer event was kind of my Lance and I's first, like, you know, event together with the students out there in the field. And so
who would have thought like getting super like nasty would be like a like, hey, let's get into it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And we did kickball too. We filled the little pools up, and they could jump into the pool. We put baby oil all over the slides, that way they were
beach or-
slipping and falling. And then at the same time, I was taking another bucket of like a 5-gallon bucket, fill it up with water, and I would go dump it on the students as we were, and it was just that time where it was like it was hot outside, but it was kind of cool too, right? And so it was like they didn't want to have it all dumped on their entire head, but it was a great time. It was a great time. So I'm looking forward to Mesa Games in September for us. And I'm looking forward to all the things that we've got planned this summer. One of the things that I think that will carry over that we did at spring break, but we'll probably do it again in the summer is we rented out a theater and we watched Princess Bride together. And, the kids love that. I hear them quoting the lines, and just the camaraderie in that, seeing a movie together, especially a silly movie like Princess Bride, so.
we did last year, we did a Napoleon Dynamite interaction movie.
Oh yeah.
And they, like, certain parts, like, it was extremely messy to clean up afterwards, but it was totally worth it. Like,
Yeah.
like when Napoleon goes out and says, "Eat your dinner, Tina," and throws it, they were allowed to throw all their popcorn at the screen.
That's awesome.
When I don't remember the guy's name, but he's all like wearing American flag stuff, and I bought a bunch of stuff, and every time he would be on the screen, they would have to wave the American flag.
I think I'm going to steal that. I like that idea.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It was it was fun. Most students don't know Napoleon Dynamite because that was before their time, but it's a classic.
Yeah. In the interview process, I was actually asked my thoughts on Nacho Libre. Yeah, that was a super spiritual question that the leadership asked me here. So, Jack Black, Nacho Libre. I hadn't seen it in 15 years, probably. Maybe, you know what? Probably 20 years. So it's not necessarily on my shelf. I'm not against it, but I'm not necessarily for it either. So I'm not going to indoctrinate the students with Nacho Libre. So well, summer camp's always a great fixture. Summer, I've done summer camp personally, whether I've worked it or gone to it or done sound at it. I've probably done summer camp probably 25 times, maybe more. And so we're looking forward to summer camp. Jacob and I are actually we're partnering sort of on it. We're partnering in the fact that we're going to meet up for lunch on the way to camp, and then we're gonna maybe they'll stick us in the same dorm.
Yeah, maybe I need to call.
Yeah,
send them an email. Be like, listen, I'm your 12th grade TLC, not TLC.
Yeah.
You're a shepherd, 12th grade shepherd. Can you?
Yeah.
How many boys you got going?
How many? Well, I have to pull the street up right now, but we got probably about 10 so far.
Yeah, we may fit in a dorm together.
Make it work. But summer camp, there's so many options for summer camp. I don't necessarily gonna. I'll plug where we're going. We're going to Power Plus Camp at Piney Woods. Jacob has been going there for 5 to 6 years or more, and I got the pleasure of going with him and Manshak last year. Obviously, they enjoyed me wearing my white T-shirt at the pool, and so the only difference I'll make is probably get a gray shirt. But all to say, the camp overall, this is what I keep saying to students and or the parents. Tuesday, we get out there, we have fun, play games in the cool. We have lunch, and then they have discipleship. They have Bible study in the heat of the day, and I'm going, bingo. Not only are you doing it in the heat of the day, but you're doing discipleship, and it's by grade level, and they do that, and then they break into smaller groups so that students can talk and have conversations. And so, to me, so good, so powerful, and so helpful for the students. I think not just they're out of the heat. They're learning about Christ, and so it's a great setting, and then worship together. So it's a great schedule. It's a great discipleship time. It's a great camp. Lots of fun games, lots of stuff to do. Lake for kayaking, canoeing, fishing, pool, zip line, big rec field. What am I missing? Gaga ball.
The big swing.
Oh yeah, the big swing. So
yeah. So I think our first summer at Cedar Valley, we went to Highland Lakes, and then I think the next year we did our own like program at our own camp and all that stuff. And then I never been to Piney Woods, but I heard about it. So I wanted to do something different. And so I just gave it a try. And the first thing I noticed was one, you're not going 100% all day long. And students can do that. You and we cannot. And
yeah.
The emphasis on their group time is what kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could have dealt with it if it was if they decided to switch to the morning and do all the rec stuff in the afternoon. I'd still think I would make it Piney Woods a priority that we go, but the fact that they do it everything in the heat of the day inside makes it even better. But
yeah,
but how much they like your breakout groups, which is based on the grade, and then every grade has their own shepherd, and then you have your family groups. And last year was different because for the first time I finally in that position where they call me to be a shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. I love it. Last year they asked me to do the mission track, and I was like, man, I don't know. And I think we had a great time in the mission track last year. Which on Thursday we went out and mowed some grass, cleaned up some trash, cleaned up a church up around the camp. But that was fun. But I'm excited about this year because I'm shepherd for the 12th graders, like the incoming 12th graders. So it's something different. I went from sixth graders, which was like 300 or 400 sixth graders. I'm like, oh my. And then I made my way up to missions, and they're like, you want to do 12th grade? I'm like, sure. So
let's go.
I just really like how, and then the worship is different. Like it's not all about the show. I mean, it's nice in there, and they have their lights, but it's not like moving lights. It's, one year we went, Mike Romero led worship that week, and that may have been the best like camp worship I've ever been part of. And this year it's Clayton Tyner, which we both know from Highland Lakes. And I'm excited to see how that works out. And I don't even know who the speaker is, but I trust him.
Yeah, it's gonna be solid. So I'm looking forward to seeing Clayton and reconnecting with him, and it'll be cool to see. I'm sure he still keeps up with this music and stuff like that. But I mean, he's like a lead pastor now at this church start in San Antonio, and so not only to know that he's solid in that area, but we just it's going to be a great experience overall. I think it's going to be amazing. So
yeah, I'm excited about it. And then just to one of the things when I switched churches, we had built relationships with the Power Plus week 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super bummed that, last year I had already signed up Cedar Valley to go to Piney Woods. And then, so I signed them up for week 2, and then I signed Manchac up for week 3. So, this last year I was built relationships with other people that I haven't met before, and really excited to see where that is this summer too. So
yeah, for sure.
Students do the same thing. It's always the same churches that go each same week, and I want to see if they continue those relationships as long as it's not that one girl.
So pick your summer camp out, go to summer camp, develop some relationships, and pick a camp that works for you.
Yeah,
pick a camp that works for you. And I think, like I said, I loved it last year. I'm taking our students. Jacob said, let's go. So let's go. And here we are. So,
yeah. And if it wasn't for Jeremy, I probably would have forgot about registration. Because if you go the year before, they give you early registration. And then he's like, hey, how do you register? I'm like, what? And then I signed up, and he had to wait a couple of days because it's his first time. So,
But I got in, and so just trying to. I've got 9 more spots left, and I talked to a mother earlier today, and so I may have 8 after the weekend's over. So
yeah,
trying to get them filled. So I'm excited.
I don't know.
Excited.
I was about to look before you called and said, hey, let's record. So
Yeah. Well, it's a couple other things that that we're doing. We've just got some Bible studies that we're going to do, kind of off campus. We are going to do like a high school Bible study. We're going to do a girls' high school Bible study. We're going to do a junior high Bible study. That one kind of gets me out of the office on Tuesday, and able to connect with these junior high students, and looking forward to just growing, and then playing a little bit too. So that's what we're going to do. And I think it's just, I can't say it enough, I guess, super imperative that you encourage not only you encourage your leaders to build relationships too, right? It's not just, you're not there just for the event. You're not just there to be the only female or the male in the room. You're there to develop relationships and empower your leaders to do that.
Kevin.
Empower them to. Well, you got a phone call, didn't you?
I got a phone call.
Kevin, he's looking for you, and
He's looking for me.
Well, we're not going to be here much longer, but just empower your leaders to come alongside these students and love on them too. So that's all I got. What do you got?
I mean, that's it. You nailed it on the head. It's all. I mean, you can have all the fun and games all summer long, as long as you're building relationships and directing them to Christ. Then the summer will be worth it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, Jacob, are you want to do this again?
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Youth Pastors Are Pastors Too podcast. Find us, rate us, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you want to see our ugly faces, look for us on YouTube. While you're at it, give us a like on Facebook. See you next week.
Bye.